David Ortega, alum and staff. David, are you here? Somewhere? There's David. Hi.
Anyway.
So David has an interesting question about how the parties became so divided. And Madam Speaker, I want you to know, when I ran for the first time in office, George Herbert Walker Bush was on the board of Planned Parenthood. Do you see what I'm saying? And my mentor, one of my mentors, was a Republican named Peter Behr, B-E-H-R, was a state senator, a wonderful man, environmentalist.
Champion.
And I got those environmental credentials, and ideas from Peter Behr. Now, all of a sudden, we're in a different situation now. And when I tell a lot of young people, when I do speaking, that these Republicans help, and we were fighting over the same groups. Who could win the women's vote? Republicans were for the ERA. Now look where we are. So this question is so important. And I have my own thoughts, but we're here to hear yours, which I have to keep reminding myself because I'm a former senator and I think everyone wants to hear me. How have the parties become so divided, Madam Speaker? And is there a chance, in your opinion, that there will be bipartisan politics in the near future?
Well, thank you, David, for your question. I think it started in sort of the 90s. The 90s are when, well, it goes way back further than that. Follow the money. Way back when, decades ago, maybe the 70s, like that, after the 60s, there were people who decided that they were going to put big money into these foundations in order to protect the free enterprise system from the hippies of the 60s. No, I'm telling you what it is, okay? So this big time money came along, big money, and it was into these, you don't pay tax, they put it into foundations. Then in the 90s, the Republicans used that money, big time money, to win the elections. They weren't supposed to, really, because it's not political money, but it was messaging money. And a certain speaker came along and used that and won. And it was, think of any issue, think of gun violence protection. All aligned with this pro-money group. Women's right to choose, pro-money, out there against it. See, any of these, climate, saving the planet, pro-money against. Pro-money against. So it was a way to protect the financial assets of the rich. The free market system was not in danger. It wasn't a reason, it was an excuse. But it was big money, and it still is endless money. Endless money. Now, I don't paint all of those very wealthy people as racist, anti-Semites, and whatever, Trumpian, but that's how they vote. And these other people, if you go to a rally and you see a sign saying pro-life, you can bet on the outside it says cut taxes. Mm-hmm. You see one that says something about the environment, cut taxes. It's just the way it is. So we have to just take our country back for America's working families. The middle class is the backbone of our democracy, and it has a union label on it. It has a union label on it. So we have to give workers, we have to empower workers and working families, whether they're union or not, but nonetheless, that they are the source of strength, the backbone of our democracy. So I appreciate your question, David, but that's what happened. It went money all the way. As Barbara said, Peter Behr was a champion on environment. We were used to bipartisanship on the environment and others. I just laid to rest in the Capitol George Miller's good friend, Don Young. We disagreed on a lot of subjects, but we had a good rapport in terms of where can we find a compromise in all of this. So it is, that's the path it took. And if money, You know how they say, oh, the Republicans, they are so clear on the message. They all say the same thing. Well, money rules the message. We are the Democratic Party. We want to have a solid, clear message in the elections as they come up. But we're not a lockstep, rubber stamp party. And we get criticized for that. People say, well, why aren't you all boom, boom, boom? Well, because we're democratic, literally, figuratively, and in every way. So I do think that your question is important, not just because of what's happening right this minute, but what is about the future of our country. That we really have to have fairness. If there's one word that is about opportunity, it's about fairness. And this president is as the fairest person. Joe Biden is a great president of the United States. In fact, I've said to him, don't tell him I told you this, it's a good thing you didn't win before because we really needed you now to be our president with all of your commitment to a vision of fairness in our country, knowledge of the legislation to get us there, strategic thinking about how to get things done. And that's all up here in the head, but in the heart. Excuse me. That wasn't my heart. In the heart is where people see the authenticity connects to them. It connects to them. So it is really a challenge that we all face. And it's not to say the other people are bad or this or that. It's just a different appreciation for the value of every single person in our country. And the need for us to educate and orientate and that we have legislation to do so many of those things that we're working on now, and hopefully in a bipartisan ways we try to find our common ground. We have that responsibility, but it is a challenge, and it is important. It is crucial that we take back our government for the people, and whatever the people decide. Whatever the people decide, that's what a democracy is about. Now, do we have any questions from women?
Well, Madam Speaker, women put this all together, but for some reason, I just had guys asking the questions. So
maybe because you were asking all the ones first.
Yeah, I followed the lead of my script. Madam Speaker, it is time for you to relax now. And I'm going to call up IGS co-director Eric Schickler, who is going to give us some closing remarks. But before he gets there, could we just hear it for this woman, for this wonderful, wonderful woman?